Hey, what's up, you guys? Jeff Cohn here again with the Team Building Podcast, where we interview top team leaders, broker owners, and thought leaders from across the country. We have a very special guest today in Mr. Grier Allen, founder of BoomTown. If you don't know about BoomTown, it is the #1 client relationship management software on the market today, and they're doing a lot of amazing things going into 2021. Grier, welcome to the podcast.
Jeff, thanks so much for having me, man. Glad we got together today.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have a great conversation. I was talking to Grier offline a little bit about some of our successes. And so I wanted to start this episode off with sharing my successes inside of BoomTown. A lot of our listeners, I think, have a lot of sense of respect for our podcast because we don't sell out in the sense that we're not going to promote things that we haven't already tested. And with BoomTown, I have a huge testament that it does work. We went from 70 to 700 sides in 6 years with our flagship team, Omaha's Elite Real Estate Group, making us the #1 real estate team in the country at Berkshire Hathaway, one of the top teams in the country in general, and the fastest growing real estate team in history across all brokerage flags. We attribute a lot of that success to BoomTown. And I was sharing with Grier that over the last 10 years, Grier, we've generated over 1 million visitors to our website that came from the squeeze page on BoomTown, which at the time was omahaselite.com. Today, if you want to see it, it's kwelite.com. And of those 1 million visitors, 10% gave us their contact information. That's 100,000 leads, ladies and gentlemen. Of those 100,000 leads, we converted 2.5%. That's 2,500 sales in the last 10 years off of BoomTown leads. That's Google ads and Facebook ads primarily. Of that those 2,500 leads, they've generated over $15 million in gross commission income, of which I shared 50-50 with my agents, and I made $7.5 million. Those are real numbers. A lot of people can talk the talk. Can they walk the walk? Can they share with you the analytics necessary to have a real conversation? And that's what we are about today. Grier, how did you guys come up with the idea of launching BoomTown? Let's just start from the inception.
Well, let me just start with those stats are incredibly impressive, Jeff. That's a mic drop moment right there for sure. But yeah, I'll take it back. Let me take it back to sort of my history because my upbringing has a lot to do with why I got into this industry and why we built BoomTown in the first place. My dad has been a real estate agent for about 40 years now, and so growing up, I learned the industry a lot through osmosis. A real estate agent's life is never. You're never off work. He's having conversations with buyers and sellers, after dinner and things like that. So I learned a lot about the business just that way. And then after graduating Clemson with a computer science degree, worked for a brokerage in Charleston, large brokerage in Charleston, in a marketing department. That's really where the original thought around, hey, there's a lot of inefficiency in this business. There's, people aren't using digital the right way in this industry, and there's not the subject matter experts to really drive online lead conversion, engagement, and the tool sets that were out there at the time were just non-existent for being able to automate your marketing and automate your lead follow-up and understand, if you're an agent, like, where do you spend your time and energy to convert more business? And we launched in middle of 2008, and we started building it in 2006. Launched in the middle of 2008. A lot changed in between those two windows, Jeff, as you know. We had a big global financial meltdown due to the mortgage industry, and so it was a crazy ride for a couple of years as we were trying to debate, hey, are we still have the blinders on and stay the course? And I sure am glad we did, because of stories like you just told, Jeff. Those types of stories are heartwarming to us, because our mission is to make real estate agents successful.
Well, I appreciate that. I remember when we launched, it was September 2011. So just a couple years after your guys' inception. And I actually got my license in 2006. My first full year was 2007. So we were kind of born at the same time, and I hadn't actually realized that. One funny story I will share, I watched as we attended all of the BoomTown Unites over the last 10 years, at least the ones that actually happened. I think about 50% end up getting canceled due to storms and pandemics.
Hurricanes and pandemics, man.
One story I'll remind you of, I don't know if you remember this still, but one of the first offices we went to, I think it was the first office, was very small compared to the operation that you're running now. I think you probably had 10 or 15 employees at the time, but you had just won the Inc. 5000 award. And there was this really cool square glass, I don't know what you'd call it, decoration trophy, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
So we thought it'd be funny because we had kind of started this relationship with you guys to steal the glass square, send you pictures of it when we went home, and then ship it back to you. And we dropped it in the airport and it shattered all over the ground. And then we decided we're not going to tell you. And then I felt guilty for a year. And then I think the next time I came to the office, I went up to you and I don't know, this is probably 8 years ago, and said, I broke your glass trophy. So I'm sorry about that. I can get you another one if you still want one.
Well, we got 3 in a row. So, it was, we made the Inc. 500 3 years in a row. So I guess we have 2 laying around somewhere.
Okay, good. Then I don't feel as bad. Where are they, by the way?
They're more than likely at the office. We're totally remote right now.
Yeah, you are. I heard that.
The whole entire operation is remote. We've got about 50,000 square feet for about 5 people in there. So social distancing at its best. But yeah, it's been a crazy year, man. It's been a wild ride.
Well, let's talk about CRM. So everybody on here either has a CRM or is wanting to get a CRM. Obviously, we cast our vote where we send our money. Everyone knows BoomTown's the best. Everyone says BoomTown's the best, but a lot of people aren't so sure that it's the best for them for the money. And it's so interesting that I hear this come up all the time. We've obviously coached thousands of clients through elite real estate systems. And I'm always like, well, why are you spending the money? Like, why don't you find a vendor, lender partner? And it was actually Sue. I think, was it the other Sue? There's like always 2, David, someone. And
David and Sue, yep.
Yeah, David and Sue. And he had said to me, he's like, well, Jeff, in the very beginning of 2011, when I first was introduced to the product, he's like, you don't have to pay for BoomTown. And I was kind of caught off guard. I'm like, what are you talking about? And that was the first time I ever started to learn more about marketing service agreements. And while BoomTown has probably cost more than other CRMs, obviously I shared with you already, it made me exponentially more money than I think I would have made had I been on other platforms. So as people start looking at 2021 and they're looking at options, why would you say people should cast their vote for BoomTown versus some of the others that are out there today?
Well, it comes down to value, and Jeff, I think that I would just point to your story as the primary reason to choose BoomTown. And your story is quite unique in the sense of the rapid pace of the growth. I know that you're not going to give up concede the fastest growing real estate team out there, but we've had some fast ones. Yeah. And many of the clients that we started with back in the 2008 to 2011 era, they're the ones that you see in the Real Trends Top 250 today. And and they will attribute the ability for them to scale. We weren't the reason for their ultimate success. Obviously there's got to be the right partnership there, but we gave those teams the ability to scale. We built our business to enable people like you, people like the ones on the top 250 list, to be able to scale their business successfully, rapidly, 10x their business. And we've got 40% of the top 250 teams in the nation, and our closest competitor has maybe a single digit percentage.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
One of the things that we experienced, Grier, our first year with you, we went to our success manager, Donna, and we've now been through a handful. Now I know that there's like group success management, but Donna gave us a list of the top 100 teams on BoomTown. And so we looked geographically at first, where, who do we want to go mastermind with? And instead of just doing a phone call, we wanted to physically go visit them. So in our first 12 months on the BoomTown platform, we visited over 50 BoomTown clients. Wow. Your top 50 BoomTown clients, and everyone allowed us to come spend a day or half a day with them to pick their brains on how they use BoomTown and then the other systems and resources. And what I have found the algorithm to be, and then I'd like to talk a little bit about those 5 pillars that we talked about earlier. What I found the algorithm to be as we built and scaled our business was, number one, using the platform to help agents convert leads. A lot of times I think there's this misconception, you guys, it's client relationship management software. It's not lead gen software. It does have a lead gen component, but the real value isn't in the lead gen arm. In my opinion, it's in the lead conversion arm, because the agents that follow you are going to want to plug all their sphere into something. Most people, my mom used sticky notes for 20 years. Some people use their phone. Some people use Excel. BoomTown was built to keep clients connected to you through different chains of communication that are built that automatically work without you actually having to do anything after you've set it up. And it's been a total game changer from a lead conversion conversation. So I shared with you the 2,500 unit sales we've had off just internet leads that came through. In addition to those 2,500 deals, we've done another 2,500 deals from our sphere of influence. So our deals have been split right down the middle. Half have come from BoomTown leads and half have come from sphere leads. You have to have both to grow a dominant real estate business. You don't want to be reliant just on one thing. That's smart business, 101. So I know we talked offline, and I'd like to spend the rest of the podcast talking about the different unique selling propositions that BoomTown offers that maybe some of your competitors don't have, or maybe they haven't fully figured out, to help us all take our business to the next level next year.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely dive into some of that. And you've already touched on a few of the key important points there, Jeff. And I'll start with let me start with just big data and artificial intelligence, because AI is this big buzzword that's in the industry right now. We view BoomTown as not just a CRM, but really as a customer engagement platform for consumers, prospects, clients, and like you said, past clients, but also for your agents. And so really we see this as an engagement platform that brings the agent closer to all, everybody in their database, the leads, the prospects, and the past clients. And so this, by being intrinsically tied to a consumer-facing website and digital marketing that's automated that goes out to those consumers, we have this full view of every single touch point that the consumer has digitally with the consumer. And so this is just gives us a very high definition view of the consumer. That's where everything starts. Artificial intelligence starts with great data. And so this is already powering some of the most powerful tools we have in BoomTown, Marketing Central being one of them, which is digital remarketing that re-engages consumers with social ads that are custom tailored to consumers that have a high propensity to engage. And so rather than, you just want to eliminate the spray and pray tactics that are out there in terms of digital marketing, but more importantly, it's about surfacing opportunities in real time for agents. And Jeff, I know you're familiar with the Now panel or the Now wall within the BoomTown system. Yep. It basically is telling you, who do I reach out to? When do I reach out to them? And what's the context? So I know what to say. And that, number one, gives agents more confidence when they're making that outbound phone call. But it's eliminating so much waste in terms of time, which is the most valuable asset that an agent has. And what we're doing is we're using artificial intelligence to make these algorithms smarter and to pop things on that wall to where we know that when you make that phone call, your call to connect rate is going to be higher than it would be if you were dialing down a list of names. And also that when that conversation actually ends, that there's a higher propensity for you to be setting an appointment. So
one of the things in terms of data that I wanted to discuss with you and our audience is that they track every data point. So they know where people are clicking, how long they're spending on the site, which is your bounce rate. They make that information available to you as well through Google Analytics. We've been tracking this obviously from the commencement of our website back in 2011, and it's pretty amazing. You could actually pull up on Google Chrome. There's an extension now that will show you the click count on everything on your site. So you can go through all the different pages and actually see where people are engaging and where they're spending their time. And what we found right now on our database, we have about 400,000 people that we've added. Guys, there's less than 400,000 registered in the city limits of Omaha, Nebraska. So we have more people in our database than we do in Omaha, and we built that in 10 years. You don't have to be relying on Google and Google Ads if you build a database like that. You've ultimately built your own Google. But to your point, so now we have all this information. How do we take advantage of it? And like you said, through AI and predictable analytics, my agents know who's engaging and who isn't. So right now, out of that group of people, we average 50,000 visits a month. 50% of the visitors, 25,000 of the visitors are new visitors every single month that are coming through about an $8,500 a month ad spend. The other 25,000 people a month are returning visitors. And what we have found is out of anyone that buys a house with our team, sphere of influence or internet leads, on average, they're in our database for 6 months before they go under contract. So one thing I wanted to share with the audience is if you are going to jump into BoomTown or Sync or Real Geeks or any of the other CRMs that are out there, you have to give it at least 12 months to know if it worked. And what I found is it only works if you work, and it only works if you hold your agents accountable to working it. So the BoomTown Now Wall, like you mentioned, is a game changer. I wanted to translate what you said about retargeting ads because a lot of people don't fully understand the AI role of retargeting. When someone goes onto your website and let's say they're searching lake properties because they're interested in being on the boat. I know Grier enjoys a nice boat ride. They're looking at $300,000 homes on the water. When we run the ad through BoomTown, they have a targeted Google ad and or a Facebook ad. We're only going to target the person that was looking at lake homes, and we're going to give them a picture of an active lake house. It's going to be specifically, and this is where the artificial intelligence comes into play. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but we're going to be specific to the demographic that they're looking at. That is what the consumer today demands. If it's not about me and my experience, I have no interest. I'm going to look past it. BoomTown's integrating the actual user experience in the ads that they're running. That's the future of marketing. And you see it right now. Go to your Amazon feed and see what products pop up at you. There are things you've been talking about. There are things that you've been looking at, even if off the Amazon website.
That's exactly right. Well, thanks for that clarification for everybody else, Jeff. No,
it's just fun to talk about. I love it, man.
It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do. And it's funny you mentioned Amazon because we talk a lot about Amazonifying a lot of things, for real estate. And there are so many similarities, with, between, what you can do. And that's the exciting stuff that we get, that we get pumped about is, how can we create a better consumer experience on behalf of the agents that we serve. And I think you made another great point there, Jeff, is you can't expect results in the first 6 months with any online digital, because the consumer sales cycle is just so long. When people are searching, even if they have high intent signals, early on, you might get, 4 or 5 deals, pretty quickly. And that happens a lot with BoomTown customers, but, you have to work the system and you have to give it the time because, what you made a great point there is, kind of the evolution for a BoomTown customer is, after that first 12 months, you start to see deals consistently falling out of your database every single month. And then once you get to year 2, that's when the ROI really just gets astronomical, and it's an ROI that you can't really touch in other channels like the other portals that are charging you a high percentage of your commission check. So we've averaged for 10 years 5x return. People are like, excuse me? I'm like, oh yeah, if I put $1,000 and I make 5,000. If I put 5,000 and I know I'm going to make 25,000. So people say, well, why would you not put $1 million in? The bottleneck will be finding agents that are willing to take internet leads that you can hold accountable and that you can train. It's hard to find agents humble enough to work those leads at a reduced split, which we always charged a 50% referral fee. To this day, we continue to charge that 50% referral fee, but you can scale this as big as you want. I think we'd be remiss not to remind everyone listening, the success of a CRM is not in its ability to generate new leads. It's in its ability to help you convert the leads you already have. So the platform will be successful day one if you're adding every single person you ever come in contact with. We require that, so we won't pay a commission out. I have 70 agents. We've grown 300% in 12 months at Keller Williams. We won't pay out a commission check at our brokerage unless the lead has been added to BoomTown and the agent has specified where the lead came from, if it's a buyer, it's a seller, and exactly where it came from, because they're getting paid out differently. We also track how many showings did that lead go on, how many houses, how many buyers looked at a listing before it went under contract. And we track those analytics as well because it starts to create a pattern and we have a better idea when we service a client what to expect as far as how long something should take.
Absolutely. No, and I would also be curious to know, Jeff, and you might track this, but when you talk about the sphere of influence, I start to think about the lifetime value of a lead.
It's not about one transaction. This is about helping somebody transition that first transition, but 4 or 5 years later, you're going to have another opportunity, or they're going to be giving you a referral. And so as you take these online leads and convert them into initial transactions, they become your sphere of influence. And there's a lot of value in that.
Yep, 100%. And what's neat about BoomTown, one thing we always created was the long-term drip campaign. So BoomTown's done a really good job, you guys, packaging these different categories based on the lead's intent to buy, or if they already did buy. And so you've got this new category, and then it goes from new to qualify to hot, nurture, watch, pending category, closed category. And then we have archive, and we've created an archive contacted, archive not contacted. And our drip campaigns for archive contacted, archive not contacted, and closed is 10 years. So we get all these people coming back to our site. One, because we've created chains of emails to stay in communication. Two, we send an email blog every 2 weeks. It's turning into a podcast come next year of valuable content that they find valuable. And number three, which is the simplest free strategy to use inside BoomTown, I was talking to Grier offline about this, is every single person in our BoomTown should have an automatic email that goes out to them every time a house sells in their neighborhood. Everybody wants to know that a house just sold and what the house sold for in their own neighborhood, because it helps them know maybe what their house would be worth. And then, of course, the agent's name's in the subject line. Whatever agent you want to say, listing brought to you by Jeff Cohn, and people assume Jeff Cohn just sold another house in the neighborhood. It was me providing them the information. And who do you think they're going to reach out to if they have a referral or if they need a list in the future? Of course, the agent that's providing them with that information.
Absolutely. And Jeff, you touched on another important thing there, automation. Leverage is so important in this business. And that was my next topic that I was going to bring up in terms of where I think CRM is going, specifically for BoomTown. You've got to focus your team, your agents on the most dollar productive activities. You can't have them wasting time on things that aren't going to lead to revenue. It's just, there's a lot of things that are trying to compress commissions today. And it's an active conversation that's going on in the industry. And sometimes software isn't even enough. And you can do a lot with automation, Jeff, as you just talked about. But there's lots to talk about, AI almost being synonymous with chatbots, for example. We tested chatbots versus sort of AI enabling our human concierge service called Success Assurance. And the human concierge has yielded 2x the appointment set rates. And they're getting better every single day. And so with Success Assurance, we're leveraging AI to determine who to contact, when, and what to say. Think about the nail panel. And we're doing this for over 100,000 leads per month. And so this is giving us an incredible amount of insight into the conversations that are occurring, what's working, and how many appointments are being set. And so we can not only bring that back in, if you're not using the lead concierge service, it's great for you too, because it's making the algorithm smarter. Number one. And for number two, we're able to use the power of big data to make this service even better. And so all those concierge communications are visible within the CRM in real time, and the agents can monitor them within the mobile app, the BoomTown mobile app for agents, and they can actually jump in and engage in any conversation at no point. So you're not transferring data or wasting time with manual back and forth.
Right. Well, a lot of people are setting goals for next year, and I know there's people still not sure who they want to go with when it comes to a CRM. I don't know what more I could say as far as a vote of confidence and giving everyone that's listening my blessing. BoomTown is by far the best CRM system out there. I do not have ownership in BoomTown, unlike a lot of other businesses I talk about. There's not anything in this for me other than paying it forward and giving back to a company that has truly changed my life. Grier, you guys have done amazing things, and Grier's still at the helm, leading the charge, and they're going to continue doing great things. If someone wanted to learn more about BoomTown, obviously they can do it for free. How does someone get in touch with you to have kind of a custom presentation?
Yeah. So Jeff, just because this is your podcast, if you're contact BoomTown and mention this podcast, what we're going to do is we'll be giving away your first month free, and we're going to be matching your paid advertising spend for the first 3 months. And so this is a special deal we're doing for folks that are listening to your podcast, Jeff. Go to BoomTownROI.com to learn more, or to sign up directly for a demo. We'll get you connected with with some of our top sales reps to walk you through the system and teach you about the benefits of the BoomTown platform.
Cool. And just make sure when you talk to them, you reference the team building podcast, Jeff Cohn, Elite Real Estate Systems, and they'll be sure to get you guys that discount. That's awesome. Also, I want to throw an invite out. Anyone that's still here with us, we would love to see you in person in Omaha, Nebraska. We're hosting 5 events in 2021. BoomTown will actually be supporting one of those, which is the Team Building Summit in May. We have 10 team leaders that do over $100 million a year in sales that will be speaking. We're looking for keynotes like Grier Allen, hint, hint, to come out and spend a couple days with us. We have a lot of really great things planned. So if you're looking for events next year, definitely check that one out. We have 4 other workshops, which are 2-day workshop events where you're immersed into all of our different systems and strategies that have helped us scale to be the #1 team at Berkshire in the world. And then, of course, one of the top teams in the country. Like I said, we've already grown 300% this year running the brokerage. We think we'll continue to see that type of growth year in and year out for the next 5 to 10 years. And we're having a lot of fun. So one of the topics we didn't get into today, but if I can get you back on again in the future, I want to really hone in 2021 and talking about how the agent's role is going to be more than just an agent, and they'll start to assume more of an advisor role. Like we had talked about, you said kingpin. I just use quarterback as the reference, but it's got to be more than just opening doors and going on listing presentations. We need to be talking about the fact that rates are at an all-time low right now and that your clients need to refinance. We need to talk about re-quoting your property and casualty quotes. We need to talk about whole life, disability insurance, health insurance. We can be the vehicle to help people live and lead the life of their dreams, but we have to stay in constant contact with them. And you will do that through a CRM like BoomTown. It is so powerful to have that at your fingertips, to be able to push a button and you can send out a mass text message or make a bunch of calls or be on a Mojo dialer that's integrated into the system. It's fascinating, all of the different components. Sisu, I don't know if we're announcing this publicly, but I guess I just did. They have an integration now with Sisu, which is like analytics on steroids, which will pull in all the BoomTown analytics into a dashboard to track your key performance indicators. And the list goes on. And I could talk about this all day. As you guys know, we're both very passionate about this topic. And Grier, you're just such a great person to have in the real estate world. We're glad you took that computer science degree and decided to put it in use within residential real estate versus a million other things that I'm sure you could have done with that.
No, it's listen, I mean, I'm gravitated to this industry because, it's in my blood, it's in my family. But I just love the entrepreneurial spirit in this industry. And that's what gets me up every day. That's what gets me excited. It gets me excited to hear people say that BoomTown changed their business and changed their life. And I don't take that for granted.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you on. You guys give BoomTown a shout out. Go out to our podcast on iTunes, the Team Building Podcast. Give us 5 stars. Give a shout out to Grier for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us today. And then Grier, how can we support BoomTown if we're already BoomTown clients? Can we go out and give you a Google review, or where's the best place someone could go just to give some love to BoomTown?
Yeah, I mean, one place is on G2 Crowd. So G2 Crowd is quickly becoming a big, business to business software review site. And so BoomTown has earned some pretty spectacular awards there over the last year. We've got in our category of real estate software as a whole, easiest to use, easiest to do business with. Users most likely to recommend. We'd love to keep those superlatives in our court. So if you're a BoomTown user and you love it, go on there and please drop a review for us. Okay.
Great. So what's the website?
G2.com. So
that's pretty simple.
It's very simple, very simple. So go to G2 and go look up BoomTown and drop a review. We'd really certainly appreciate it.
Awesome. I'd also like to invite anyone listening, if you are feeling like you need coaching going into next year, you feel like your agents need to be trained, team leader training at Elite Real Estate Systems, we are offering a special discount right now. We'll give you 6 months, 50% off. This is a COVID discount, and we want to make it easy for you guys to get what you need to be successful going into next year. And I'll pair it what Grier said. I am also inspired when people tell me that Elite Real Estate Systems or the podcast or my real estate company help to change their lives and shape the future that now they have from generation to generation. That's what we're in this for. It's not about the ones and zeros in our bank account. It's about creating impact and influence in the lives of others. And these technologies will definitely do that. So our coaching platform is modern coaching for the modern agent in that we don't do one-on-one coaching. We think that that's a style of the past. That's a whole different conversation. We give you topical training for team leads to help you scale your business the same way I scaled mine. I actually did it. If you want to be like an apple tree, you got to start with an apple seed. A lot of coaches in the industry have never built a real estate team before. And I know how hard it is and how challenging it is. And I am the one delivering the content every Thursday. And then all of your agents get to plug in, unlimited agents get to plug into our agent training, which is twice a week as well. So it's 12 hours of content every single month. You can find out more about that on our website or just go to ersdemocall.com. Grier, any parting thoughts of wisdom?
No, I mean, Jeff, I really appreciate you having me on today, and maybe we can set up that next call. And I need to come up there and see the studio that you built out up there. So hopefully that the Elite Summit is a time where I can come up and see you guys. I know I'm itching to get out of the house right now.
I know everybody is. Guys, go sign up. It's in May. We'd love to have you out there, Grier. We'll talk more about that. But for anyone that does come, we will have a tour day to show everyone our office. We call it a hybrid tech-powered office of the future. It's 10,000 square feet. It was about a $1.5 million build out. And we have a WeWork space in the sense that inside our office, which is a residential KW office, we have mortgage, title, insurance, financial planning, property management, investing, coaching, and then of course, KW, the real estate arm. And that is the future. So every office of the future that's going to survive what's going on now and what will continue to happen with big box shop commercial spaces being squeezed. I believe the solution is going to be to give the consumer what they demand, which is a virtual option. And when virtual isn't an option or they're not comfortable doing everything virtually, there's a physical space they can go to in a singular location. There's no more drive here for the closing, drive here for this person, drive across town for another person. Everything's in one place. So everything in our office is virtual and physical. Anyone can choose how they feel most comfortable, especially present pandemic. And if there is a future pandemic, we're set up virtually for all of that. So for anyone that does attend any of our events, all of our events are hosted in my office, with the exception of the Team Building Summit we hosted at the Marriott Capital District, downtown Omaha. It's a really cute little area. It competes with Charleston. So if you go on and look at the competition between Omaha downtown and Charleston, it's going to be about neck and neck in all of the people that choose to visit here. So joking.
Now the trash talk has begun, man. I'm definitely going to have to come up there and check it out. Yeah.
I'm totally kidding, but it is beautiful. You guys, in May, you should come. I would not recommend January, even though we have a workshop in January. Dress in, bring your parka.
Right.
All right, Grier. Well, hey, I appreciate it. I don't want to take any more of your time. You were a great guest today. We'll definitely get you back on. And everyone listening, I'm going to work with Grier on trying to get him to come out in May. We'll see if I can convince him to come out.
Sounds good, man. Thanks again for having me, Jeff.
Take it easy.